This is Shakil Ahmed. In this tutorial, we will discuss about agreement between the responses or the results of two tests, where we have a new test and we have a standard but imperfect reference test. So we just need to check whether the two results agree with each other or not using the positive percentage agreement, negative percentage agreement, and we also can check using McNemar's test. So this is the data. We have a new test. This is just something like medical diagnostic test with result yes, no, or positive, negative, and we have can write positive and negative, and we have a reference test that also has a positive and negative results, and we have these are the responses for the two tests. For example, 15 people were tested positive for the reference test and also for the new test, and 5 people were tested positive for the reference test and also tested negative for new test, and we have other frequencies, and these are the totals. We can just see, and this is the grand total. So we first check whether there is a evidence of disagreement or not, disagreement between the two tests. If there is an evidence of disagreement, then these two values will differ with each other. So the null hypothesis is that there is no difference between the discordant or proportion of discordant pairs. For example, proportion of this, you can find proportion of this value and proportion of this value, and you can just find the difference between these two proportions, and that is tested using the McNemar's statistic. This is the McNemar's statistic. For example, we have such type of values like this and A, B, C, D, then McNemar's statistic is B minus C minus 1 divided by B plus C. This is exact McNemar's statistic after adjusting for the continuity correction. Basically, we are converting a categorical variable to the continuous variable. Chi-square is a continuous variable, so we just adjust for the continuity correction. That is, we subtract zero point 0.5 from this and subtract zero point 0.5 from this, so it will become 1. So we can find the value of the chi-square as I have already calculated. You can just see, and this is the b minus 1. You need to start with double bracket and then absolute b minus c. B minus c and then minus 1 and then square, and then you can close the bracket and divide by b plus c. This is b and this is c. So this is the value of chi-square, and you can find the p-value, that is 1 minus chi-square distribution, that is the cumulative probability, and the value of test statistic, and the degree of freedom is 1, and the cumulative is equal to true. So this is the p-value, which is not significant for that test. The null hypothesis is not rejected. So there is insufficient evidence of disagreement between the type of two tests. If the two values, if the two discordant pairs are different, then we can say there is a significant disagreement between the two tests. So we can find it true uh, positive percentage of agreement using positive divide by this. This is just like the sensitivity in case of perfect test and perfect reference test, and this is the specificity that is called negative percentage agreement. How many negative values are agreeing with the for the both tests? So 9 values are negative for the both tests out of total 14, and 15 values were uh, positive for the both tests among 23 values. And you can find the total proportion of agreement using just you can just add these two, that is equal to the accuracy of the test. Here we just call it agreement as we are comparing two different tests, but the two tests are not perfect reference. Basically, the first, we are just comparing a test to another test, not some gold standard test, which is perfectly established that the patient has the disease. So we are just comparing the two tests. So it might be this test also giving some errors, and this test also giving some errors. So we just assess the agreement between the two responses using the positive percentage agreement, that is 65% for this test, these two tests, and negative percentage agreement is 64.3, and the total percentage of agreement is 65 around. So, and the McNemal's test also suggested there is no significant evidence of disagreement between the two tests. So we can conclude that the two tests agree with each other. Thank you.